like to start by finding out who's who. So, who are you guys and what brings you here today?
My name is Susie Schrader.
Okay.
And I'm actually the one being sued.
Okay.
My name is Ann Kim.
Okay.
And I'm the plaintiff.
Okay, very good. First of all, I want to make sure, since your plaintiff and your defendant, do both of you have the authority in the event that we reach an agreement here? Are you both in a position to say yes or no?
Yes.
Or do you need to check with somebody else or anything like that?
It's fine.
Okay, good. First of all, as I said, my name is Rocky Perkovich, and I'd like to call you Ann and you Susie. That's okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
All right, good. The reason I mentioned that is because mediation is an informal process. And besides, my last name is difficult, and you'll never be able to figure it out anyway. But one way to keep it informal is to be on a first-name basis. And I want to make sure, first of all, before we go any further, that I have never worked with either of you guys before, met you, seen you, interacted with you in any way, shape, or form. Is that true?
No.
It's not true?
No, it is true. That is
Okay,
true.
good.
Yeah, I've never seen you before.
All right, good. You might be wondering why I'd ask you that question, and the reason for that is I want to make sure that you both are comfortable and believe that I come to this dispute with knowing nothing about it and not having any care as to how it gets resolved or whether it gets resolved, and that's why I want to make sure. And along those lines, let me tell you what I will be doing and what I won't be doing. My job here is to help you guys have a conversation, to talk to one another to see if you can figure out a way to resolve this dispute. And I'm going to be asking some questions and helping you have that conversation. One of the things that I am not going to do is I'm not going to decide who's right, who's wrong. If there's a dispute on the facts, and I don't know whether or not that's true, but if there is a dispute on the facts, I'm not even going to decide whose version of the facts is correct and whose version of the facts is incorrect. In fact, you guys are going to make all the decisions. And my job is to help you make those decisions, and my job is to help you have a conversation so you can make those decisions. Glad you're here tonight. I'm glad that you've agreed to come forward and that you've agreed to do so voluntarily. Congratulate you, in fact, for doing that. And hopefully the time we spend together will be worthwhile in light of your willingness to do so. It's a real simple process. After I get done, I'm going to ask each of you to tell me a little bit about this dispute. I'll start with you, Ann, since you're the plaintiff, followed by you, Susie. After each of you give your statement, I'll take a second or two to briefly summarize to make sure that I understood it correctly and give you an opportunity to add to that if anything's necessary. And we'll begin to have that conversation that I talked about. Asking questions, talking to one another, and hopefully you guys will do more of the talking and I'll do more of the listening, but that's the plan. Ask that you be respectful of one another, okay? You listen very, very closely to one another. I don't know whether or not you've already had a chance to talk about this. If not, take advantage of this opportunity. If so, take advantage of this opportunity that might be different in terms of your conversations before this. And try not to interrupt if you're able to do so. I know, conflict's a difficult thing. You want to get in there and say what you've got to say. I promise you, you're going to have an opportunity to do that. You don't need to necessarily jump in. I'll give you that chance. Lastly, we're going to take about 30 minutes. I've already wasted about 4 of our 30 minutes, so we'll talk. When we get to the 30-minute mark, we'll take account of where we are, and hopefully we'll be signing a settlement agreement, or if not, you'll return to the courtroom. Okay? Questions from anybody?
No.
Okay, very good. Ann, I said I'd start with you since you brought the lawsuit. Why don't you tell me what brought you here today and what this is all about?
Okay, well, I think it was about maybe 3 weeks ago. I went to Susie's place to buy a car, and I bought it from her just because, like, she's sold other cars, I guess, to other people in the area or whatever, and so I bought it. I bought it for $3,500. It's a Ford.
I'm sorry, how much?
$3,500, and it looked like a good car. It was a Ford Taurus. I think it was 98 model, and so I get it. I pay the money to her in cash, and the next day I drive it. I'm on the freeway. I'm driving the car on the freeway, and it totally, completely just stalls. try to turn it on again. I try to, you know, rev up the engine or whatever, and I'm on the freeway here, and it just completely stalls. And what I had to do was get out of the car and try calling the police. The police comes, and then I had to get the car towed. I had to pay more money to get this car towed because it was in the middle of the freeway. It caused all this commotion, all this traffic, and yeah, I'm here because I want my money back.
Okay. And I know you may have just said this, but I want to be perfectly clear. If we could resolve this today, what would they look like for you?
I want a full refund for my car that I bought in good faith.
Okay, good. Let me take a few brief seconds to try and recap what you've just described. From what I understand, about 3 weeks ago, you bought a car from Susie. You went to her because she had sold cars to other people in the neighborhood, or people that you know? Or?
Yeah, I guess just like in the neighborhood.
Okay, all right. The selling price was $3,500. You say the car looked good. You paid cash for the car. You drove it the next day on the expressway. It stalled while you were on the expressway. You tried to turn the ignition on once again. Didn't work. You got out. The police came. There was a lot of commotion as a result of having stalled in the freeway. You had the car towed, which was an additional cost. And you'd like to see this settled by getting your refund of $3,500.
Yes.
Okay. Did I miss anything?
Well, there's a cost of actually getting the car towed, which
Okay.
is, I had to pay about $80 to have that car towed.
Right.
Not to mention, you know, the pain and suffering that I've been through. You know, I had to go.
Are you joking?
I mean,
me?
I had to go and
Hang on a second, guys. Susie, promised you, and we're about 30 seconds away from giving you your chance.
look. I had to go and file for this after that happened. I had spent over 3 days without having to, you know, being at work. I have lost money from not being able to make work, and court costs.
Okay.
So altogether, it should be about $4,000.
So your grand total for the refund of the cost of the car, the towing costs, the court costs, and whatever pain and suffering, you're totally not at about $4,000.
About $4,000.
Okay, good. Thank you. Susie, your turn.
She forgot one important fact. The car was sold as is. And so I am under no obligation to return any of her money. She bought that car knowing full well there was no warranty. And so I have no legal obligation to return her money, so I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
How can you?
Hang on a second, Ann, because I want to do the same thing I did with you with Susie, which is number one, make sure that she's done, and then number two, make sure I understood her. So, just a few brief seconds. Anything else you want to add to that, Susie?
Not really.
Okay, all right. So your bottom line then is that you sold this car to Ann, you sold it on an as-is basis, which to you means that there's no obligation to return any money, there was no warranty, and you have no legal obligation to do so.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. What I'd like to do then is take a few seconds, because I know, or at least I sense, that you're getting you have a willingness to talk to one another, and that's good. I'm going to take a few seconds to talk about what I think are the issues, maybe sort of an agenda, set an agenda for our conversation. So let me take a stab at it. Number one, it seems to me we need to talk about this court case. Okay. Number two, we probably need to talk about the sale transaction. Okay. What the terms of the transaction were. Okay. And we probably need to talk about this issue of money.
Yeah, that's right, money. You owe me.
Did I miss anything, first of all?
No.
Okay. Ann, you wanted to jump in at one point when Susie was speaking, and I stopped you, so I just want to make sure I give you the opportunity. What did you have on your mind?
I just don't understand how you can sell a car and the very next day it breaks down entirely, and that she could just get away with that. Like that's just fine with her.
You bought a
I mean,
used
I
car.
bought it, and I even test drive it, and it was fine, and I bought it in good faith.
Okay.
And what do? You knew that the car was a sour lemon. You knew that the car was bad, and you didn't tell me. How can you do that? How can you?
I cannot
how-
make guarantees for how long a used car is going to last. That's exactly why it's
What,
sold
so-
as is. That is exactly
Okay,
why
first of all,
I
I
do
don't
not
even
give it
know. I don't
warranty.
know how you can go to your work every day and still do this, and know that you're selling sour lemons.
You know
to
what?
people.
I've been selling cars for 10 years.
Oh, so you've been selling
And-
cars for 10
yes.
years, and you have how many clients now? First of all,
I've had a lot of
I shouldn't have
customers.
never been with. I shouldn't have never gone to you.
You know what? You're just upset with the decision you made. You're having buyer's remorse, and now you want me to pay for it. And you know what? I'm not going to do that. I am not in business to support you and your bad decisions. Is what it comes down to. I'm sorry that the car stopped working.
No, but you should have sold that car to me in good faith.
I did
I
send
bought
it,
that car
sell
from
it to
you in good faith.
I did. You were very informed of the fact that it was sold as is. It was on the window. It was on the contract. You signed a separate document stating that that you were taking that car as is.
Right, because you had told me that the car was running great.
As far as we knew, it was.
You're lying. You are so lying.
Did the car drive off the lot?
Yes, and then the very next day, it stalled on the freeway. Do you know
So
what it
you
feels
knew
like to
when
be
you drove
stalled
off
on a
that lot-
freeway? No. You do not know what it feels like to be in the middle of a freeway and having entire world look at you and your burnt out car. It's not a good feeling. First of all, I should have not had that car towed. I mean, I cannot believe that I have to pay for not only the loss of this. I don't have a car anymore. I do not have a car anymore.
All right.
And
hang on a
I've
second.
already spent $3,500 on
All right,
this.
all right. Let me jump in here for a second, if I may. A couple things I want to follow up on that I heard both in the initial statements as well as you guys were speaking to one another. And let me work backwards, actually. Ann, just before I broke in, you said that you don't have a car anymore.
I
Okay?
don't have a car.
Will you tell Susie what's that like?
Well, I don't have a car, and that means I cannot go to work. Do you work, Susie?
Are there any other
Obviously.
Are there any other consequences?
Well, because I can't go to work, I can't earn money. I have children. How am I supposed to feed my kids if I don't have work?
Get the car repaired, and then you'll have transportation.
Oh, you want to go get it?
Where's it at?
Beats me. It was towed. It said something towing garage. I don't even know what the cost is to get that out of there. What is it? Do you know how much it costs to
Nope.
get a car out of towing garage?
I haven't the slightest
Something
idea.
like, it's a ridiculous amount of money to even just take a car out of a towing garage.
Any other consequences of not having the car? Other than being unable to work and therefore earning your money?
I mean, I really wanted, the main reason for me to get the car was so that I can go to my work. Because
Okay.
I'm a social worker, and that requires for me to like visit all my clients and visit all the different...
Also, you not only do you use the car to get to and from work, but you use the car in the course of your employment as well?
Exactly. I
Okay.
need my car for my work.
Okay,
Otherwise, I cannot be at that work.
I see.
So it's not that I can go take a bus and be dropped off to my work, because I have to be traveling all around the area just to visit my clients.
Okay. And what's your employer thinking of all of this?
Well, I'm really stressed out. I mean, I think my employer is pretty empathetic in the fact that I was stranded on a freeway. Have you ever been stranded on a freeway?
No.
Okay, it's
What's it like?
It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Okay, not only did I have to go to the call box and cross, I mean, fortunately it wasn't during a time when there was a ton of cars in the freeway, but I had to cross a lane just so I could get to a call box to call the police. And right there I could have been run over, you know? And I mean, I think that because of that, my employer, my boss, is okay. I mean, feels bad because I bought this car with good faith, and you know, I had to go through the whole ordeal. But you know, it's not as if I could continue with this for like a long time. I mean, I
Right.
need to get a car.
Okay. So would I be correct in saying that if we can figure out a way to get you to work and to enable you to work, that'd be something you'd be interested in talking about?
Yeah, I guess that means
Cool.
I need a car.
Okay, good, good. Now you also mentioned that you had, well, let me, instead of putting words in your mouth, how did you end up at Susie? Why not somebody else or someplace else? Or?
Well, I mean, some people were telling me that she's just done a lot of different things in the community, and like she had, you know, she had some connections to some people that were related to me, you know, some family friends of mine or something like that. And so they didn't recommend me to her because they've never bought a car from her, but they knew of her because she's just done a lot of different things in the area.
All right, and there's some connection with your family, is that what you said?
Well, something like, well, I think it was like my family friends had known of her.
Okay, all right. Susie, is that, as you understand it, or is this news to you?
No, when she first came into my place and she introduced herself, she said she had learned of me through her Aunt Joy, and I know Joy through a community board that I am on. I do a lot of community work, and so I do know a lot of people in the area.
Okay, now you said your place, and really not entirely sure. What do you mean? Because I don't really know. I mean, did you sell this car as an individual, or?
No, no, I own a used car lot.
That's what you mean by your place, then?
Right,
Okay,
right,
all
right, right.
So you're a used car salesperson.
Mhm.
You had this transaction with Ann because of Ann's Aunt Joy, okay?
Right.
So it was a common link, if you will,
Mhm.
all right? And is that square with your
I think so.
understand?
I mean, I
All
think
right.
it was Aunt, yeah.
Does Aunt Joy know about this? Does Aunt Joy know about this problem, this dispute?
Oh, my whole family, I mean, is appalled by it.
Okay, all right.
And
But Aunt Joy in particular, how does she feel about this,
I
this
mean,
dispute that
she
you guys
felt
had?
she felt really bad that she had given me her name
Okay.
because
All right.
now she knows that she is a horrible, dishonest saleswoman.
And Aunt Joy now, Susie, you and she were somehow active together on a community board?
Right.
Okay. And have you and Aunt Joy had any conversations about this?
I haven't seen her. We haven't had any board meetings since.
Okay.
This
Is this the
occurred.
first you've heard of Aunt Joy's concern as a result of this?
Yeah.
What's that mean to you, anything?
Well, I don't like anybody who I'm associated with, whether it's a business person, a client of mine, customer, to think poorly of my business or me. But the fact remains, I am a business person, and I clearly stated the terms of the contract to Ann, and she willingly entered into that contract.
All right, so you've got a concern, and correct me if I'm wrong, whether it's just a stranger with whom you do business, or it's someone like Aunt Joy, someone that you've got a connection to over and above the business. You've got a concern that if any of those kinds of people are unhappy, that bothers you. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Well, of course.
Okay. All right. So if we can figure out a way to resolve this where that sort of stature, if you will, with these people is not damaged, is that something you'd be interested in talking about?
Yes,
Okay.
I guess so.
Very good. So let me ask you then, you guys, let me put it on the table. Do you got any ideas how we can come up with a way to get Ann to work and enable her to work,
Yeah.
since you use your car in your work, and that preserves your stature with these people? You got any ideas where we can, obviously it's not going to work where we're at now, because I'm not hearing you offer $3,500, okay? And I'm not hearing...
offering $4,000 either.
Well, I'm sorry, 4,000, you're right. And I'm not hearing you say you're going to go away, so those two solutions aren't going to work. Got any ideas how we can get
Yeah, we go
Ann to
back
work?
before the judge because I can get my $3,500. Not only $4,000.
Right.
How are you going to get that money from the judge?
Well-
Explain that to me.
Because I'm going to show to the judge that you did not sell me the car in good faith.
But what is good faith? That
Have you? No. The car is a piece of, it's a sale. When you buy something, you buy it and you receive it as a sale, as a guarantee that it is something that you're going to buy. obviously you sold something to me that was not what you told me it was the car. You said it was
It's
a
not
good
a car?
No,
What is
no,
it,
no,
a
no.
horse?
You said it was a car that was in great condition, and it was.
When did I say?
You
Where on the
that. You
contract
remember
does
that.
it say that I said it was in great condition? On the contract, I believe it
You said it
described
ran
as
well.
a
You
used
said
automobile.
You said it ran well. You said you drove it around all the time. People were
What?
driving it all
Why
the
would
time.
I? I wouldn't drive it all the time.
Well, you have to drive it to test drive it. You were test driving it with
You-
all your
whoa,
different
whoa, whoa, whoa.
potential
You
clients.
test drove it, sweetheart.
I test drove it, but I'm saying before that. And you said every person that you had driven before that with the person that was test driving it was running fine. You told me it was in great
Oh,
shape.
yes. I had
Obviously,
no
it's not in great
reason.
shape if it's being broken down
Yeah.
on the
I
freeway.
got a couple questions for both of you. First of all, Ann, you said early on in our conversation, and you may have repeated it, I'm sorry if I missed it, but you said early in the conversation that Susie knew it was bad. That's
No,
what
no,
you
no,
said.
no, no, no. Susie did not. Well, no, yeah, Susie knew it was bad, but she didn't tell me that it was bad.
All right. Is that why you're making the argument that there's some bad faith here? Is that
Oh,
what you're?
yes.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you this: if you said you're going to get your car back, and you're going to get back to work and being able to drive a car at work by going to court. How are you going to prove to the judge that Susie knew it was bad?
Well, obviously, she said that it was in great shape, right? And then the next day it broke down.
Okay.
Doesn't that say something to you?
Well, it doesn't matter what it says to me. The question is what it says to the judge. All right.
Oh, well, the judge will say that she sold it in bad faith.
I never said that the car was in great shape, first
All right.
of all.
Now, hold on a second.
No, you're lying.
Well, no, wait a second. So you're going to go before the judge and you're going to say, Your Honor, Susie told me it was in great condition. It obviously wasn't, therefore she must have known that it wasn't, therefore she acted in bad faith. Susie's going to go up to the judge and say, Your Honor, never said it.
Well, why would she even sell it to me and say, look, she sold it to, I'm just saying what she told me, and I know what she told me.
I understand it. But she's going to say, I assume, given what you've just said now, she's going to say to the judge,
Susie,
I never said it.
You never told me that it was in bad shape.
I'm not saying it's in bad shape now. Can you tell me what's the problem with the car?
The engine just completely, exploded.
Is that the official diagnosis from a mechanic?
I don't know.
You don't know. You have no idea what's wrong with this car.
I know that it didn't start, and there was smoke coming out of it.
Okay. So how can you attribute that to me? For all I know, it's your driving.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
Howard-
I need to go back.
And that's what I'm going to say to the judge.
No, wait. Well, what makes you think the judge is going to decide that Ann is a bad driver?
She can't prove that it was my fault. She has no proof to show the
It
judge.
shows perfectly.
The burden
fact
of
that
proof
you-
is on
no,
her.
No. You said the car is in great shape. I bought it from you in good faith.
I sold you a used car.
Yeah, and you knew it was a bad car. You
No,
knew it was a
I
sour
didn't.
lemon. You sold me a car.
Listen, you know
just
what?
Honestly.
Time out. All right. I want to go back to the court piece because both of you seem to be fairly confident that you're going to win, and that's impossible. I mean, you both can't win, right? I mean, one of you is going to win and one of you is going to lose, and you're both equally confident that you're both going to win, and that's impossible. And we spent a little time talking about how you might fare in front of the judge. Susie, let's do the same thing. First of all, we've got the same situation, it seems to me. If Ann goes up before the judge and says, Susie told me it was in great condition, and Susie goes up before the judge and says, I never said it, what happens if the judge believes Ann?
I still have a contract that shows that I was selling that vehicle without any kind of warranty whatsoever. She signed saying she was taking that vehicle as is with no warranties made.
So you're going to argue, if I'm understanding correctly, you're going to argue that even assuming you made that statement to Ann, the as is, what? Is that your statement's irrelevant? Is that what you're going to say?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say that I didn't.
No, I understand that, but I mean, work with me here. Let's just assume for the sake of discussion that the judge decides, you know what, Susie, I'm believing Ann. And I'm going to decide that you did, in fact, make that statement to Ann.
Well, I'm also going to ask the judge what proof she has that it was actually the vehicle that broke down and that I had knowledge that the vehicle broke down. I mean, for all I know, she
Okay, get
did
real,
something
Susie.
wrong when she drove.
Susie, you sold me a bad car.
Well,
you know
I'm not.
Right.
Whatever.
Well, we're not going to get that situation resolved, all right? I mean, if you guys could agree whether or not a good car was sold or a bad car was sold, we wouldn't be here today. All right, that's simple, all right? We've got about 5 minutes left in this conversation, all right? We've identified that Ann needs to get to work and needs a car to work once she's there, all right? We've identified that Susie is interested in making sure that people don't come to any conclusions, negative conclusions, about your product and about your business, all right? If we go to trial, if you guys go to trial, one of you is going to lose and one is going to win, okay? For example, Susie, if Ann wins, then, I don't know, you tell me, what's going to happen to that concern of yours? What's going to happen when people learn that Ann sued you for bad faith, is the word you're using, right? Bad faith.
That you sell sour lemons.
What's going to happen then?
No one in my family is going to you, ever.
Okay, you just told me that nobody in your family has come to me before.
Well,
But-
now no one will.
I mean,
ever see.
as a business person, it's in my best interest to not have a negative view of my business.
Okay.
But at the same time, I don't want people to think that they can purchase a vehicle from me as is and then have it break down and
Okay.
then get a new car.
All right.
I mean, why would
Well,
anybody then purchase a
but
vehicle
wait
with a
second.
warranty?
And Ann, correct me if I'm wrong, I think I've heard you say that what you're interested in doing is getting a set of wheels.
I need a set of wheels.
Not a new car necessarily, okay?
No, I bought that car knowing it was a used car, but I did not buy it.
So the question becomes, given all the risks that both of you run by walking out of here without a resolution, right? And given the fact, risk meaning winning or losing, right? And given the fact that you want to protect your business and you want to get a set of wheels, and knowing that going to court is not going to achieve both of those goals, what, if anything, can you guys do as we sit here in the remaining 4 minutes to avoid the result that's going to leave only one of you happy and possibly come up with a result that make both of you happy? That is, protect your reputation and get you a set of wheels.
Okay, how about I take the car out of the towing garage or whatever, and we exchange that car for another car?
No, I'm not giving you a new car.
I don't want a new car. I want another car as an exchange for a used car.
I'm not giving you a new used vehicle. You made the choice to buy the Taurus. I mean, that's the deal. My problem here is that we don't even know what is the problem with your vehicle. I mean,
Why would that make a difference?
Well, because first of all, she could have very well done something to cause the damages, yet she wants me to absorb the costs. But number two, it could be a very simple thing to fix. I mean, for all I know, it could be a fan belt, and, you know, it would cost $5 to repair that. And you know what? My time is worth a hell of a lot more than $5.
So
Just fine.
if you knew the source of the problem, how, if at all, would that make things different than it
I've
is
got
right
a
now?
mechanic. My mechanic could replace a $5 fan belt and would make my life a lot easier and less headaches. We could have this situation resolved.
All right. And if that car were fixed and were operable, where would that put you in terms of getting a set of wheels?
I mean, I guess I could try to fix the car. I don't really think that the car can get fixed, but I'm not going to Susie's mechanic
Okay. Why is that?
because she told me that she had the car checked out by her mechanic and it was fine. It was in great condition. It was certified as good condition. And obviously, it was not in good
So
condition.
are you saying then that if your concern about getting the car fixed could be met by someone other than Susie's mechanic, that's something you'd be interested in speaking about?
Well, I guess. I mean, if there's nothing else I can do. I mean, I could just go back before the judge and get the judgment, but
Well, no, but I'm saying, when we started this conversation, that solution is going to be win all or lose all. This is our opportunity to figure out a solution that avoids that result, but still gets both of you what you want, which is your business intact and you a set of wheels. So am I hearing you say that if we can get that car examined and fixed and operable, you're okay? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
yeah, I mean, if it's fixed, it's
All right,
fixed.
all But you don't want it to have done by Susie's person.
No.
All right. What do you think, Susie?
Oh, I have some problems with that.
What are they?
First of all, I am not going to be an unlimited checkbook. And the way that I could help prevent spending a lot of money is by using my own mechanic, because he's not going to charge me for labor. And so if I send it to somebody else, they're going to charge me huge amounts for labor. So I have a big problem with that.
So-
And
I'm
my
sorry.
second issue is the fact that what's going to stop her from, in a week or two, if she comes back with another problem with the vehicle, that she's not going to come after me again?
I don't know. Can you answer that question, Ian?
I just want to know that, I just want you to say that you gave me, I want a fair deal. I do not feel as I was given a fair deal.
I think you were
I'm
given
out.
a very
What
fair
would,
deal.
what would
I'm
make this a
out
fair deal?
$3,500.
What would make this a fair deal, Ian? Having an
Her
operable
guarantee
car?
me that a car will be operable, yes.
Having
See,
an
there-
operable car.
I'm not going to do that. You did not purchase a warranty. I am not going
Oh,
to
wait.
guarantee it.
Wait, she said having an operable car. Would that include the car in question? The
What do
car
you
in
mean by
question,
that?
the car in question were operable.
Yes.
Would that be a fair deal?
Yes.
All right. Now, I know you're taking the position the car in question has been operable,
Right.
all right? But I'm hearing Ann say, and it's not operable now. Can we agree to that? I mean, you don't know the
Right.
reason why, but you...
Right,
okay.
it isn't.
So I'm hearing Ann say, if we can get that car operable now, we've got, to use her word, a quote-unquote fair deal. My question for you, Susie, is how, if at all, can we get that car to become an operable car?
Well, I'm not going to have an open checkbook for her. I
Okay.
will set a certain amount of money down that I will go up to. Anything past that amount of money, that's it.
Okay.
And once these repairs have been made, I'm done. She cannot come back to me
I'm not
A
gonna
day
ever come back
later?
to you, No.
2 days later to say, my
No.
car broke down again.
So you're willing to subsidize in part the inspection and repairs of an independent
Yes.
mechanic. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yes.
All right. Can you give us some idea what that is?
I would give, to get rid of this case and not have to deal with it anymore, $500 towards repairs. Up to $500.
Right.
Before the repairs are done, though, I want a written estimate of what the problems are, and I want my mechanic to be able to go over and just check it out.
All right. So you want sort of like a second opinion from your guy.
Yes.
But your mechanic's not gonna touch my car.
Just to the extent that he needs to look at what their diagnosis was. Your mechanic could be there the whole time, I don't care. But I just want my guy to do a second diagnosis.
All right. So what I think I'm hearing is Ann would take the car to an independent mechanic who would do an inspection, for lack of a better word.
Uh-huh.
Say, this is what's wrong, this is what needs to be done, and this is the cost. All right? And then that comes to your guy with the car if necessary, or he goes to the car as the case may be, whatever, okay? And he takes a look at that written estimate, and in the event that it's agreeable, then you'll subsidize up to $500 the cost of those repairs.
Right. Mhm.
What if it becomes like $1,000 to repair?
I will give you $500. You will need to pay the rest.
What, okay, I need to ask you.
You can answer, I don't know if I can answer,
What
but
if,
you can
what
answer.
it, what, like, what do you think the judge will say
Ah.
if she says as
You
is?
know, exactly what I told you. I said you can ask away, but I'm not sure I can answer. It's irrelevant what I think. Remember what I told you in the beginning. I'm not making any decisions. I can't give any advice. The only thing I can say to you is you need to consider, both of you need to consider, quite frankly, what happens if you go before the judge and you take the position you're taking and the judge rejects it. This is your opportunity, and probably your last opportunity in light of the fact that we're down to about 2 minutes. This is your last opportunity to walk away with a solution that has certainty to it, okay? And will get you where you want to be, which is an operable set of wheels, and will get you where you want to be, which is your business
See, I'm
and
not,
reputation.
I don't feel like I'm being guaranteed an opera set of wheels. I mean, what, I don't have money to pay $500 more. If it costs $1,000, I feel like you should at least pay like for 75% of it or something.
Like I said, I'm not gonna give you an open checkbook. I can give you up to $500. And let me just make this very clear. I am not putting that money on the table thinking that I have had any fault in this whatsoever. I am pretty confident that if I went in front of the judge, I would prevail.
Oh.
I am doing this because I don't want any of my customers unhappy. And whether you want to believe it or not, I want you to have a car that works. I want you to be able to work. That's what you came to me for. I want to see that that happens. But I cannot, as a business person, just give free rein to every person. This is what I can afford as a business, $500.
Well, wait a second. Now, Ann, and maybe I misunderstood something, but are you asking for free rein? Or I think the other term you used was an open checkbook?
Right.
No,
Is that what you're
I'm
asking
not.
for?
I'm not saying I want an open checkbook because
Okay.
if it's like $5,000 repair, then
Okay.
I'm not going to expect her to fix that for
So
$5,000.
you recognize that there is some limit to this?
Right, but
Okay.
I'm just saying I don't know how much the cost is. When it installed, I mean, it seemed like the entire car was just broken down entirely. I mean,
So what amount, if any, other than 500 would go towards?
I guess it really determines on the estimate, you know.
Well, Susie, you're kind of, I know you haven't seen the car yet, but between the three of us, you're the one who knows most about cars, I would guess.
I only sell them.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
I have mechanics. I have no idea.
Okay.
I couldn't say.
Okay. Is there a way then that we can get a better handle on whether up to $500 is going to be a viable amount? Is there a way to restructure this so that that $500 becomes a more viable amount?
I'm not going to agree to a percentage because once again that gives me open liability.
You know what?
not
Just
gonna do
forget it. Let's just yeah. I mean, 500 is fine, I guess. I mean, if it costs more, then I'm just gonna have to scrape up more money for it. But at least the 500 says that you came at least to make sure that the car runs.
I'm sorry, I missed that, Ann, please.
I guess I'll just take the 500 and just leave it as. But I want my court costs.
And how much is that?
It's like 100. What, 180?
So it would be up to $500 plus $180.
Yeah. Because I wouldn't be here in this court if it wasn't for her.
I paid court case. Okay, I paid court costs too.
Well, no,
and
but
so,
you
and
didn't-
I wouldn't be in court if you didn't bring me here.
I don't care. You should be paying my court costs.
And where would you be if we weren't here today, Susie?
I would be
Selling
at
it.
work,
What would you be
selling
doing?
cars,
Alright.
making money.
Okay. And so, when you're here, is it costing you money?
Yes,
Okay.
it's costing me a lot of money to be
Alright.
here.
Okay. All right. And how, if at all, does that relate to Ann's request for $180 in court costs?
Well, I paid $100. Okay, so are you going to pay me mine? Do you think that's fair?
No. What? Why don't we just split the court costs?
So I'm going to give you 40.
No, you give me half of what 180 is.
90. It's half of
90.
180.
Okay, but I've already paid $100.
I don't.
You know what? To get rid of this, I will give you $40. So I'm subtracting the $100 that I had to pay from the $180. I will, and then so that makes $80 difference. I'll pay you $40. I really want to just get this over with.
I guess fine.
So what it's looking like is an independent mechanic will examine and do an estimate. That'll get sent over to your person who will eyeball it. And if necessary to make an assessment, take a look at the car as well. You'll pay up to $500 of those costs, plus $40 to represent a portion of the court costs.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we then take a few seconds to put this into writing, and all three of us will sign off on it, and then we'll put you back out in the courtroom, and you can tell the judge what went on.
Okay.
And thanks very much. Okay.
Thank you.